அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். இது யாவரும் கேள்வி திறனாளர் சங்கம் பெருமை நடத்தக்கூடிய இணைய வழி கருத்தரங்கம். இந்த கருத்தரங்கத்திற்கு நம்ம கூட தமிழ்மிகு புஷ்பலதா அம்மா அவர்கள் ஆங்கில உதவி பேராசிரியை நம்ம கூட இணைஞ்சிருக்காங்க. வணக்கம் அம்மா. அவங்க நமக்காக என்ன தலைப்பு எடுத்திருக்காங்க அப்படின்னா ரவீந்திரநாத் தாகூருடைய பிறந்தநாளை பற்றி பேச வந்திருக்காங்க. வணக்கம் அம்மா.
வணக்கம்மா. வணக்கம்.
ஸ்டார்ட் பண்ணிடுங்கம்மா.
ஓகே, நன்றி. அனைவருக்கும் வணக்கம். Good day to everyone. In this presentation, we learn more about Rabindranath Tagore that we'll see in this talk. I'll share the screen now. Yes, I think the screen is visible to everyone. Is it visible to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, thank you, everyone. We'll start the talk. Good day to everyone. In this talk, I like to discuss some interesting facts about this great personality, Rabindranath Tagore. We all know about him, that he was a very great writer, Nobel Prize winner. Yes, we all know that. But in this talk, we will learn more interesting facts about Tagore. So Rabindranath Tagore, he was a Bengali poet, writer, famous writer, contributed many things to India and Indians. With this short introduction, I like to continue this talk about Tagore. So what we are going to learn in this talk. See, the contents of this presentation is, first thing, we will learn more about Tagore, where he was born, when he was born, how did he start to write. So in this presentation, we will learn the introduction about Tagore, and he was greatly influenced by great English writers like Browning, Tennyson, and some Victorian writers. How did he influence? That also we'll discuss. Next one, GITANJALI. Yes, Tagore's famous work is GITANJALI. For this, he received Nobel Prize in 1913. And he was the first non-European who received this great award. It's very interesting fact, and we have to feel happy about this man because he did a great job. Okay, he was the first non-European who received this great award, that is Nobel Prize in 1913 for his work GITANJALI. And then what he did with that money, okay, for this Nobel Prize, they gave some amount, okay, as a prize, they gave some money. With that money, he established Vishwa-Bharati University. So from this, we can understand how he was a nationalist too. He was a poet, writer, yes, but still he was a nationalist too. Okay, he was thinking about Indians and Indians' education. For that, he spent his prize money and established this great university, Vishwa-Bharati. And we all know that haiku is a form of poetry. And Tagore considered to be the first haiku poet in India. Okay, he wrote haiku first in India. Okay, that also we'll discuss in this presentation. So first is introduction about Tagore. Second one, how did he influence? Okay, he influenced by some great writers. In what way? How? That we'll discuss. And we'll see about GITANJALI, and then haiku, and then other interesting facts, how GITANJALI got shaped. Okay, that also we'll discuss in this talk. Yes. Okay, I think you can see this slide and you can see this image too. So when we talk about Tagore, you all remember a long beard, old portrait. Yes. So I like to share how he was looking in his young age. So that I share this Tagore's image, young age image. You can see him. This is Tagore in his childhood days. I mean adulthood days. Okay. So he was a very young boy, but was a voracious writer, reader. Okay, he read a lot. He used to write a lot. Okay, so he was born on May 6, 1861 in Calcutta, and he was surrounded with educated family. Okay, his father, brother, siblings, okay, everyone got well educated. Okay, well educated family background he had, and so or not we don't know, but still, okay, at the age of 17 he started writing his career, okay, writing poems. Okay, at the age of 70, very young age, he began writing poems in Bengali, okay, in his mother tongue Bengali. And we all know he was a great poet. Yes, he was a great poet, great thinker, great playwright, painter, nationalist, translator, and even scientist also we can say. So many things he involved in, many disciplines. He was a multifaceted personality. Okay, he couldn't stick on to one particular uh, domain for this man. No. Okay, he was a multifaceted personality. Yes, he was a great poet, painter, philosopher, translator. Yes, he was translating his whole Bengali poems into English language. Okay, so at the young age, he started writing Bengali poems, and then later only he translated his own Bengali poems into English language. Like that, he was a very multifaceted person, and he didn't. Again, I am saying that he studied multiple domains, like he knows what law, education, science, okay, literature, okay, like that. He was a voracious writer. He read everything. Okay, he touched all the disciplines. Okay. And then first at the age of 17, he started his career, and then his family members wanted him to study law. Okay, so that they sent Tagore to England in the year 1878. Okay. So in the 1878, Tagore went to England to study law. That's the first visit to England. And then he returned. Then he was going again, his second visit to England in the year 1912. Okay, after return from that second visit, he started to translate his Bengali poems into English language. Okay. And then again, one more important fact about Tagore is Tagore composed national anthem. Okay, what we are practicing, say singing nowadays. Okay, right? So that was given by this great man. Okay, Tagore composed national anthem, and that's what we are singing till now. Okay, and he was not giving only to India, but also Bangladesh. National anthem was also composed by Mr. Tagore. Okay, so like that we are having many facts, interesting facts about Tagore. We'll see. And at the age of what to say, and in the year 1941 he died. Okay, and it's because of his age factor, he died on 7th August 1941. And another important thing is he was also conversed with Albert Einstein. Okay, Albert Einstein, we all know he was a very great scientist. Okay, with that person, Tagore had a conversation about science. Okay, we'll see that also. So how this man had a knowledge about all the disciplines, all the domains. A very great thing about this one. Okay, because everything happens because he was a great voracious reader. That's a base of all. Okay, next one. influenced by great writers. Yes, basically he was a Bengali poet. Okay, his mother tongue is Bengal, and he started writing his poems in Bengali language. Yes, people are calling him as Bard of Bengal. Bard means poet, so poet of Bengal, Bengali poet. Okay, so then he visited England twice, right? That time he had an opportunity to meet some great writers, poets, and then he influenced, particularly talking about Browning's work or Whitman's thoughts and poems. Yes, he was deeply influenced, and we can see in their style of writing or the diction can be seen in Tagore's verses. Okay. So he influenced by Browning and Whitman, and his poems have their diction or style of writing that we can see easily from Tagore's verses. So verses means poems. Okay. After his second visit, it started to translate Bengali poems into English poems, right? So then he turned as an English poet. Okay, he started to write in English too. So he became an English poet also. And but then he was writing poems in Bengali language, right? So that time itself he was very popular in Bengal. So he was very popular in Bengal as a poet before he was visiting England. So because of his words, people are praising, are appreciating Mr. Tagore. Next one, yes, we have to talk about Gitanjali. Yes, Gitanjali. It's a very, very interesting fact how this Gitanjali book got shaped, become very famous, and it reached the highest position. How? Yes, it has some background uh, incidences. We'll see that Gitanjali is a very good book. What to say? It's a songs about Almighty, Oversoul, God, okay, and then peace. So like that, it is very beautiful verses are there in Gitanjali. Actually, first he wrote in Bengal language. Later, he himself translated into English. Okay. And then once he visited England the year 1912, and that time he was sailing on the ship, and he felt so boredom, so that he wanted to translate his Gitanjali into English language. So on the way of his voyage, he took his papers and started to read and translate into English language. Okay, when he was sailing on the ship, okay, because of boredom, because of loneliness. Okay, he was alone on the ship, so he doesn't know what to do. So he can utilize that time. So he took all his papers and translated into English. So he started that work. After some time, what happened? The papers were missed. The Gitanjali verses were missed. He lost the papers. After some days, his son, Radindranath, okay, his son, Radindranath, found the lost papers. Okay, he found the papers later, and he had shown the papers to William Rothenstein. Okay. His son Ratindranath found the papers of Gitanjali verses and shared the papers to William Rothenstein. He took the papers and read the papers, and he was very much stunned, flabbergasted, surprised to see such verses in English language by an Indian. So he was flabbergasted, surprised to see such verses. So he went through the verses, poems, and he shared among his poet circle. And that poet circle, we are having this man that is W.B. Yeats. Okay, so W.B. Yeats again went through went through the verses, went through the verses, and then he admired. Okay, he admired and appreciated about Gitanjali. Okay, so W.B. Yeats read Tagore's verses and deeply influenced by Tagore's words, admired and appreciated, and he took a step to take these verses into a book. Okay. And W. Yeats wrote preface uh, for this book, Gitanjali. Okay. So like that, this is a story behind Gitanjali's book. So it's see just how it has. Okay, he was sailing on the ship. That time he felt boredom and he started to translate his Gitanjali into English. And at that time he lost the papers. It was misplaced, and his son found, and he shared the papers to someone, and he shared to someone, and they found that it was very interesting. Okay. So like that it was happened, and now we are having Gitanjali because of all these people. And from this we can understand how a poet is appreciating another poet. It's very difficult, right? So we couldn't find people like this. A person couldn't appreciate other poets. But here, W.B. Yeats appreciated and helped to take Tagore's verses into next level. Okay, so it's a very great thing. A poet is encouraging another poet to become a great poet. It's a very interesting thing about W.B. Yeats and also Tagore. W. Yeats, we can understand how this man's mind was. Okay, and he himself wrote preface to Gitanjali. When if you buy or read this book, you can see the preface. W. Yeats wrote uh, prefaced in this book. Okay. Next one. Yes. So when he was translating Tagore, he gave this statement. Just see the statement. I did not undertake this task in a spirit of reckless bravado. Okay. He was translating into English, so he was very much afraid to English language, and he was saying that I am not well versed in English language. Okay, so this is a mindset he has. Tagore has. Okay, Tagore has that. Tagore has thought that, so I am not familiar with English language. Okay, okay. I simply felt an urge to recapture. Just I want to read work through the medium of another language, the feelings and sentiments which had created such a feast of joy within me in past days. Okay, so in the anybody can accept these words, because they want to write on their own language, yes, they can do it easily. And if they want to do it some other language, yes, it has some difficulty, because they have to bring the same emotions, thoughts in some other language, means it has some difficulty. Okay, so as here he mentioned that it's very difficult for me to translate from Bengali to English, because my knowledge of English is not up to the mark. See this man, how he thought. Okay, just imagine. Okay, so he gave this statement when he was translating Gitanjali from Bengal to English language. So this is a book. Okay, see that is Gitanjali means song offerings. It's all the songs are very short, very rhythmic. That's very good rhyme scheme. Rhythmic, so rhythmic melodies like a song. Okay, it's not like a verse, but it's like a song. And all the songs are talking about Almighty, oversoul, peace. Okay, like that. It's very beautiful work. So next one is already told you, he was not only a poet, painter, philosopher. In addition to that, yes, he was a nationalist too. Okay, he was very much particular about Indians and Indian freedom. Okay, so he was talking about freedom struggle too. When he was writing poems in Bengal language, okay, the English government was appreciating Tagore too. And that time King George was there, and he appreciated Tagore and gave the title, that is Sir. Okay, like in Tamil we can say Veera Thirumagan, okay, Veera Talaimagan. Like that in English they gave a title to Tagore, that is Sir. Okay, he accepted that title also. But after that, Jallianwala Bagh incident happened in 1919. Okay, so people, Indians were shot dead. Very crucial moment happened on that year 1919. Okay, So he couldn't tolerate that incident, terrible incident. So he returned that title to British government. He didn't want to accept the title by the British people because they did such a crucial thing to Indians. So he couldn't accept that. So he returned the title, Sir, to the British government after that incident happened. See here is another point is national anthem. Already we discussed, right? How did we pick this song, Janagana Mana or Amar Sonar? How? Okay, that again has some interesting fact. So in Santiniketan, or which okay, Santiniketan, what happened? Tagore wrote many songs, lyrics, okay, and it was sung during any festivals or any peculiar functions, sometimes any occasions. The songs sung on that particular events, okay, and that book name is called Ravindranath Sangeet. Okay, so on that book he wrote many lyrics. Okay, and the lyrics can be sung in any events or occasions. Okay, so one among is Janagana Mana, is always sung during occasions, and second one is Amar Sonar. So Janagana Mana is we are following that, or we are adapting as a national anthem of Indians. Amar Sonar is Bangladesh national anthem. Okay. Next one is Vishwa Bharati University. Is he received Nobel Prize, and then he spent all the money to establish such a great university. That is Vishwa Bharati University. Okay, just imagine he didn't spend his money for his family members or for himself, but he spent his full amount, okay, price money to establish the education, to establish for the university for the education. Is just imagine how beautiful mind he has. Okay, yes, when you talk about beautiful mind, yes, he wrote a poem that we'll discuss now. See, mind, where the mind is without fear. Okay, where the mind is without fear. So he wrote this poem and it talks about our nation, oppression, freedom struggle or independence. Yes, he was insisting about independence. Yes, we have to achieve that. That's what he is mentioning here. See the verse, where the mind is without fear. Where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. Okay. So yes, my mind should not have any fear and I should walk with what mental strength. Okay, so that is, so when British peoples were not here in our country, yes, we can walk freely when knowledge is free, where the world has not been broken up into fragments. Yes, our nation should not be broken by any aliens. Okay, he was insisting that by narrow domestic walls where words come out from the depth of truth, where tireless striving stretches his arms towards perfection, where the clear stream of reason has lost its way, into the dreary desert stand of dead habit where the mind is led forward by you, okay, into ever widening thought and occasion, into that heaven of freedom, my father, let my country awake. Yes, see here, okay. Please be awake. Okay, through his verses he make the people to awake from this subjugated world. Okay, so people are other, I mean, aliens are subjugating us, oppressing us. Yes, we have to come out from that. We have to think freely, we have to act freely, we have to do what we wanted to do. Okay, and we are one. Okay, so our nation, even though yes, we are having a slogan, yes, unity in diversity, the same thing he was saying, we should not, even though we are different in religion or any form, okay, language, culture, rituals, fine, but still we want that, we wanted to be unity. Okay, yes, that's what we don't want to be uh, shattered, or we don't want to be divided. Okay, we want to be united. Okay, see, let my country awake, please, our country people, be awake, awake and do think free and make your mind free from all this subjugation or oppression or suppression. Okay, so through his verses he was talking or giving way to come up from this subjugation, okay, colonization. Okay, it's very beautiful verse. I think you all know this poem. I mean, somebody has studied in school days too, where the mind is without fear. Next one is next one. I like to share few uh, words about Tagore's haiku poet. Okay, so once he visited Japan also. So Tagore visited Japan the year 1916. He was deeply influenced by Japan and Japanese. Okay, and he what to say learned or understood about Basho's haiku. So haiku means we all know that it is Japanese form of poetry, and Basho was the pioneer of writing haiku. So he learned and understood about Basho's form of writing, and he was deeply influenced by that. And then he came to India. When he returned from Japan, he started to write haiku poems. And also he talked about Japanese too. You see the words here. We don't find three-line poem anywhere else in the world. Haiku means we all know that haiku is a short form of poetry. Three lines. So first line 5 syllables, second line 7 syllables, third line 5 syllables. So on the whole, we are having only 17 syllables. That is haiku. Okay, that is haiku, and it's a very short lyric for form of poetry is, and we couldn't find anywhere in this world. See here he's stating that we don't find three-line poem anywhere else in this world. These three lines are enough for the poet and the readers. These three lines are more than enough to convey any kind of thoughts. The heart of the Japanese people does not sound like a waterfall. It is quite like a lake. Okay, so see how Tagore talked about Japanese people. Okay, the heart of Japanese people does not sound like a waterfall. Okay, they won't make much fuss, they won't make much noise, but they are very quiet, and their work will speak. They won't speak, their work will speak. Got it? We are also having a proverb like Nirai Kudam Tadumbaru, like the same thing. Okay. So when the vessel is empty, vessel makes noise, right? So when something is there on the pot, it never makes sound. Like the same way, these people never speak much, but their works will speak a lot. Okay, so it is quite like a lake. So they very brilliant. Might be they Tagore insisted in this words. See one haiku we can see. Okay, see the one. Tagore wrote haiku poem. Just check it. Oh, Japan, thy oceans are restless, thy land is calm, mountains are deep and steep, thy landscape is soft and green. So here is a initial stage he wrote. He tried to write haiku. Okay. So Tagore tried to write haiku, but haiku the form is 575. But here he wanted to share about Japan and their atmospheres, environment. So he just expanded the lines. Okay. Oh Japan, the oceans are restless, the land is calm, mountains are deep and steep, the landscape is soft and green. Okay. So from this we understand he was deeply influenced by Japan and the environment, and also Japanese and their uh, attitude. Okay. So like that, okay, we understand his observance about Japan and Japanese. Okay, so he just considered that Tagore was the first poet who wrote haiku in India. Okay. After that, only it is gradually just going. Okay, but he was the pioneer or the first person who took haiku to India, from Japan to India. Okay, and next one incident I like to share. Okay, I already told you in the beginning, right? Tagore had a conversation with Albert Einstein. Okay, just few lines from that. See, okay, with this you can understand the minds of the thoughts of the emotions of Mr. Tagore. Okay, so Einstein and Tagore was talking. They had a conversation. Just listen carefully. Yes, Einstein is saying that there are two different conceptions about the nature of the universe. So Einstein was talking about two things about universe. This universe. The first one is the world has unity dependent on humanity. Okay, so something is happening in this world, but we are having one-to-one independent, right? So Einstein is saying that sometimes one-to-one interrelated, sometimes they are independent, sometimes it is dependent, sometimes independent. So two things are there in this universe. Okay, so for example, we can live with nature, and nature is also needs us, yes or no, like that. Okay, he was giving two concepts. There are two different conceptions about the nature of the universe. The world has a unity dependent on humanity, and second one is the world has a reality independent of the human factor. One is dependent and the one is independent. Tagore is giving a reply: when our universe is in harmony with man, the eternal, we know it has truth, we feel it has beauty. Okay. So in the whole conversation, we are talking about science, universe, beauty, eternal, truth, or else what is the almighty or oversoul. So these are the things they had a conversation. You just imagine he was a great scientist and he was a poet. Okay, again, I'm telling that we should not just put a brand on Tagore. He was a poet, not like that. He was also a poet, because see, another word he was giving is explaining to Einstein. He was giving reply to Einstein. Just listen carefully. Matter. I have taken a scientific fact to explain this. So he was showing some kind of scientific fact to talk, to converse, or to argue with Einstein with some evidence. Okay, so matter is composed of protons and electrons with gaps between them. See here, but matter may seem to be solid. See here, a poet is, we all know he's a poet, but still he was talking about protons and electrons. From this, we can easily understand, yes, he was a great knowledge of science too. Yes, he read science. Okay, he was philosopher, poet, painter, dramatist, writer, translator. In addition to that, he was a scientist also. Okay, without that knowledge, we couldn't talk or converse with Einstein, right? So, science, Einstein means, yes, we all know that he was a very great scientist. The person who was talking with him means, yes, he also has that much knowledge to talk about uh, science with that person, great person, right? So, like that, we are having many interesting facts about Tagore. We should not put Tagore in one domain. Okay, he's a multifaceted personality. So with this, I'll conclude my talk. So Tagore is a very great personality, writer, and was always thinking to write, to promote, to get freedom for Indians, and he was accepting um, other people's language, culture, appreciated their culture, rituals, environment, everything. Okay. So he was a, what to say, from this we understand that he was an open-minded person. So once an open-minded person can learn a lot, is from this man's life we understand that one person has open-minded. Okay, our open-minded person may learn a lot from his life. And see what happened in GITANJALI. Okay, W. Yeats promoted, okay, Tagore's work because of his uh, appreciation, or because of his effort. Gitanjali received a Nobel Prize, okay, and it has known to everyone, to this world, because of W. Yeats' work, W. Yeats' thoughts. Okay, so he was also a poet, but still he appreciated other poets' work and made the work to get popularity. That's a great thing that never happens even in this era. Also, it never happens. We couldn't see such kind of person in this era. Yes, but still people were there. Uh, One who appreciates other works. That's very great thing. So from this life of Tagore, we can learn many things, and we understood that how people helped each other. Everything happened because thought process go in a single line. So with these words, I conclude my talk on Tagore. Thank you for watching. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to talk about Tagore. Thank you, everyone.